Guys, let me tell you, Rand Paul has been bringing the heat. Okay? He has been warning time and time again that this whole impeachment thing is a path that the GOP ultimately does not want to go down because it may divide the GOP to the point that it will not be repairable. Okay? Now, what he's also doing as well, which I think is important, is to let the American people know who is currently thinking what right now. Okay? Who currently wants to go along with impeachment and who currently doesn't. Right? So my man is out here saying the things he has to say, doing the things he has to do in order to try to keep the party together and ultimately trying to keep the peace. Okay? Because everything is about keeping peace. Okay? So Rand Paul is trying to do that. The Democrats, on the other hand, are trying to divide. Okay, they're trying to divide. Today, there was a debate among whether or not they should move forward with the Senate trial. And like I said before, Rand Paul held his own. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. So let's take a look at Rand Paul's argument regarding the impeachment of former President Trump.
This impeachment is nothing more than a partisan exercise designed to further divide the country. Democrats claim to want to unify the country, but impeaching a former president, a private citizen, is the antithesis of unity. Democrats brazenly appointing a pro-impeachment Democrat to preside over the trial is not fair or impartial and hardly encourages any kind of unity in our country. No, unity is the opposite of this travesty we are about to witness. If we are about to try to impeach a president, where is the Chief Justice? If the accused is no longer president, where is the constitutional power to impeach him? Private citizens don't get impeached. Impeachment is for removal from office. And the accused here has already left office. Hyper-partisan Democrats are about to drag our great country down into the gutter of rancor and vitriol, the likes of which has never been seen in our nation's history. Instead of doing the nation's work with their new majorities in the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, Democrats are wasting the nation's time on a partisan vendetta against a man no longer in office.
You know, he's 100% right about that, right? Like, I mean, that's something to think about. Like, you're wasting time going after somebody that's not in office, right? Potentially further alienating parts of this country, right? That you say that you want to bring together, right? Everybody say they want to be together, but when it comes time to actually put in the work and the actions to be together, you know, people don't want to use a little bit of forgiveness, right? Forgiveness is key, okay? You forgive and you move on, right? That's what the Democrats should probably be trying to do here if they really want unity. However, it's the things they focus on trying to continue to punish a president who's essentially already been punished and at this point can't really defend himself. So I think what Rand Paul is arguing here is very principled, and I really respect it.
It's almost as if they have no ability to exist except in opposition to Donald Trump. Without him as their boogeyman, they might have to legislate and to actually convince Americans that their policy prescriptions are the right ones.
Exactly. 100% true. Without President Trump to kick around and to pick on, the Democrats don't know what to do. Right. And I think part of this impeachment thing is it is a distraction from the Biden administration. It is a distraction from the fact that they haven't executed on any of their promises regarding stimulus or anything like that. OK, I think that this is ultimately what it's about.
Democrats are about to do something no self-respecting senator has ever stooped to. Democrats are insisting the election is actually not over, and so they insist on regurgitating the bitterness of the election. This acrimony they are about to unleash has never before been tried. Why? Because calmer heads have typically prevailed in our history and allowed public opinion to cast blame where blame is deserved. This sham of an impeachment will ostensibly ask whether the president incited the reprehensible behavior and violence of January 6th when he said, "I know everyone here will soon march to the Capitol to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard." Peacefully and patriotically, hardly words of violence. But what of Democrat words? What of Democrat incitement to violence? No Democrat will honestly ask whether Bernie Sanders incited the shooter that nearly killed Steve Scalise and volunteer coach. The shooter nearly pulled off a massacre. I was there because he fervently believed the false and inflammatory rhetoric spewed by Bernie and other Democrats, such as the Republican health care plan for the uninsured is that you die. As this avowed Bernie supporter shot Steve Scalise, nearly killing him, and shot one of our coaches and 2 or 3 of our staff, he screamed, "This is for health care." Ask me or anyone if that's incitement.
Now, again, this argument that Rand Paul is making here is fair, but I want to make it very, very, very clear because currently going through some things with YouTube. I do not condone violence, not on either side. I do not condone violence. Okay? Simply what Rand Paul is outlining here is the hypocrisy from the Democrats in terms of what they define as incitement. Okay? What happened at the Capitol is wrong. What happened, everything is wrong. Anything that's violent is wrong. I have to make this clear. I'm sorry, guys. And there's nothing wrong with calling that out, right? On both sides. Violence is bad. Okay? We should always try to remain as peaceful as possible when we can. However, both sides should take responsibility for when they say things that can cause people to become more extreme. So the point of Rand Paul's speech/argument here is to basically say that this whole impeachment trial is unconstitutional and to basically force a vote that's going to identify who wants to continue to go along with this and who doesn't. So it looks like we may have the answer to that question as 45 Republicans vote against proceeding with the Senate impeachment trial. Okay, 45 vote against proceeding with the trial. So that means 45 Republicans are basically saying that this is a sham and that this should not go anywhere. However, that leaves 5 GOP senators who voted against a move to declare impeachment unconstitutional. So let's take a look at who did that. Senators were sworn in as jurors to President Trump's impeachment trial Tuesday as the Senate voted 55 to 45 to end debate on Senator Rand Paul's point of order, arguing that the impeachment trial is unconstitutional now that Trump is out of office. 5 GOP senators voted not to dismiss the impeachment trial of President Trump. Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, no surprise there, Ben Sasse of Nebraska, and Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, who's a very high-ranking Republican. They voted with all 50 Democrats to table the point of order. I also think they are missing Mitt Romney here. I think Mitt Romney voted not to dismiss the impeachment trial either. So he's not up there, but Mitt Romney is also in there. No surprises. Now, a surprise to some of you guys, and to me a little bit here, but not really because I know this man is basically a finesser. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who has indicated he has an open mind on whether Trump should be convicted, voted against ending debate. So basically, he said that, hey, at the very least, we should keep debating, right? Now, some people may look at this as an indication in terms of how they might vote during the actual trial. I'm not sure if I would put too much stock in it, right? I think that the 5 GOP senators are definitely likely convictions for sure, right? If you have 5 GOP senators that want to end debate, then those are probably likely convictions, which means they would have 55 votes, right? Which means they would need about 12 more or so in order to actually get a conviction. So this is important because the flip side of that is people can say, well, do they actually have 12 votes, Republican votes in the Senate to actually make it happen? I think that's where Mitch McConnell comes in. It's ultimately going to be up to him because I think that he would be able to get those extra 12 votes because of his status as minority leader and the leader of the Republican Party. However, you do have those guys, the 5 GOP senators who, are going to be self-righteous and decide to go out on their own and do their own thing, right? And I'm pretty sure McConnell's not necessarily telling them to stop, right? At the very least. So Rand Paul had told reporters earlier that he would make a point of order alleging that the trial is contrary to the Constitution, an argument that multiple Republican senators have made that forced a vote on the point of order requiring senators to go on the record about whether they believe the trial is constitutional. The Senate also passed its pre-trial organizing resolution 83-17, and the impeachment trial will be adjourned until Tuesday, February 9th, as Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell had been pushing for. So we're going to get this in a couple of weeks. So they're going to drag this out as long as possible. Paul said he expected his resolution to prove that there would be, quote, no chance of impeaching the president in the Senate. Quote, I think there will be enough support on it to show there's no chance they can impeach the president. Paul told reporters Tuesday, if 34 people support my resolution that this is an unconstitutional proceeding, it shows that they don't have the votes and we're basically wasting our time. The Senate would need a 2/3 majority or at least 67 votes to convict the president. Republicans have called to move on from impeachment now that Trump is out of office, adding that to continue pursuing the matter would further divide the country. Paul, in the floor remarks ahead of the vote, claimed that the absence of the Chief Justice, who presides over impeachment trials in the Senate, made the trial unconstitutional. The Kentucky Republican said that without the Chief Justice present, the trial was not a trial, but of a private citizen. All right, so he kind of touches on something that some people have been talking about in terms of Chief Justice John Roberts basically ducking, presiding over the trial. And basically, Chief Justice John Roberts essentially is saying that, hey, because the Constitution says that the Chief Justice has to preside over the president, and because Trump is no longer the president, the precedent that was set before in the past had the, I think, pro tempore of the Senate actually reside over impeachment trials. And the current pro tempore of the Senate is Patrick Leahy from Vermont, who's a Democrat. So that's basically how Chief Justice Roberts basically kind of got around presiding over this thing. Now, Chuck Schumer is arguing against Rand Paul, and he's basically saying that Rand Paul's assessment was flat out wrong and had been completely debunked by constitutional scholars all across the political spectrum. The Democrat leader said that Paul had left out Article 1, Section 3, where the Constitution states that the officials can be barred from holding office ever again through impeachment. Quote, judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than to remove from office and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. The Constitution reads, if the framers intended impeachment to be merely a vehicle to remove a president from Senate office, they would not have included this, Schumer argued. So those are both sides of the arguments. And as you can see here, Rand Paul kind of did something smart and basically is showing the American people that, the Republicans are kind of talking a big game, right, about how some of them want to convict. But when it comes down to actually voting, right, or trying to move forward with it, most of them, a majority of them, are kind of hesitant to do so. And to me, guys, that still shows the power and the influence that the former president still has over this party. Okay? Because you would think that with some of the things that have been said from Mitch McConnell, you would think that you would have more people who would be willing to end debate and to just move forward with it. However, a lot of them, most of them, just weren't, including McConnell himself. So this could be a move by McConnell to continue to try to save face and to buy his time, because he already knew that you was going to have the self-righteous Republicans vote to move forward with it. So that's probably it in terms of why he did it. So I don't really think it means anything. I don't think it really shows anything. But I could see how people could come away with a takeaway that there's not enough support. But like I said, I mean, if you count all 5 that voted to move forward with it, they only really need about 12 more. So do they have 12? I don't know. I think it depends on McConnell. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.